Wow. Hey guys, Steven here, Fanatic Perspective. There's a song from the early 2000s by a woman. I think her name was Vivian Green, if I'm not mistaken. It was an R&B song, kind of neo soul. It's called "Emotional Roller Coaster," and that's what I'm feeling tonight. After a win, after a 20-19 win over the Detroit Lions here at home. I just got back from the game. So, as I said with Miss Vivian Green, I'm on an emotional roller coaster. That's what this team sends me on. And you guys watching as well as fellow fans that are Cowboys fans, or if you're here as a Lions fan, I know you're feeling some type of way right now. You got to be. Uh, Very, very competitive football game. A game in which, my opinion, Dan Campbell outcoached Mike McCarthy in a myriad of ways. A game in which CeeDee Lamb goes crazy, Dak Prescott goes crazy. Our defense plays really good football for the most part. A game in which it comes down to the Zebras and their discernment and how they handle the situation. And I think there's going to be a lot of debate over the Taylor Decker, whether or not he reported. We had that issue in the Eagles game on the road with Udoga when we lost, and we got a penalty for that. So that's. But like I said last week, if you guys watch my recap of the Dolphins game, because it's the same scenario. The Dolphins game, we're up 20-19. The only difference is we lose on a field goal. Jason Sanders hits on the walk-off. This time, the Lions don't get that 2-point conversion, obviously, to go up 21-20, which they did, and they didn't, and then they didn't, and then they didn't. So, lots to break down. First and foremost, before I even jump into, the game and breaking stuff down, because I'm just reacting raw right now, part of that emotional roller coaster was the Jimmy Johnson tribute and ceremony for him getting in the Ring of Honor. I wasn't old enough to see Jimmy real time as the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. The first season that I can remember just concretely was the third Super Bowl that I watched, that I knew where I knew what was happening, right? As a child was the Barry Switzer year where we signed Deion Sanders and he's playing both ways and we win that Super Bowl. So to see Jimmy go in, to see the triplets, to see Jerry, to see Charles Haley, Darren Woodson, and that whole group, that was a special moment for me as a Cowboys fan. I'm glad that they were able to get past whatever BS they had. And while people are alive, and give them their flowers, that's bigger than the game. That's bigger than Cowboys Detroit tonight. That was a moment that I will remember for the rest of my life. I thought Jimmy gave an incredible speech. He's 80 years old. He looks fantastic. And again, the fact that they're still alive, the fact that they were able to squash whatever and just celebrate. This is the time of their lives where they should be celebrating each other. They've been uber successful men. They've all made lots of money, lots of success on the field. They've won. This is the time where you celebrate things. And so to have that moment at halftime, and we knew that, once they announced it, I'm glad that they got that done. And to see his name up there in the Ring of Honor was incredible. Now, as for the actual football game, the first drive, Dallas comes out offensively when we give up 3 defensively on the first period. We go down, we throw an interception, which I think Dak maybe had thought also it was a bad decision, but I also think he may have thought they jumped off sides there. I'm not sure. But he was late and trying to make a play. Okay. We come back, Barnes misses the sack in the end zone, and probably the play of the season. Dak just stays alive and extends and throws a 50-yard ball. CeeDee Lamb just catches it and runs away from the defender who hits the turf. and we have a 92-yard touchdown. CeeDee Lamb goes for 13 catches for 227 yards and a touchdown today, a 92-yard tutty, and essentially breaks the Cowboys' single season receiving record, the reception record, and just has had a remarkable season. I know that there's debate about the fumble, and I'm gonna get to that here in a second and all that, but CD and Dak right now, I don't know if there's another pair of guys like that I'm taking right now. That's how in sync that they are. I think CD had 17 targets today, up on 13 catches, and we have I mean, it's not like we have trash receivers or anything like that, but that's just how well CD is playing, and you want to get the football to your best players. And the other thing is, the byproduct of that is, or not a byproduct, but the necessity out of that is you don't have a run game. And that's why I feel like when we get in January and we have to play phone booth football, we have to play different styles of football on the road, situational periods. We talk about situational periods. First 3 to 4 minutes of the first quarter, last 3 to 4 minutes of the second quarter, going in half, first 3 to 4 minutes of the third quarter, and last 3 to 4 minutes of the fourth quarter. Situational football. That's where when I growing up, we used to call that perfect period. Perfect period. You would be punished if you jump off sides, you commit a penalty, you don't execute. We have to be the margin for error against those teams. I'm going to reiterate because it's the Dolphins game all over again, but we end up on the right side of the coin. And we're leaving this to coin flips when it really shouldn't be. The fumble, CeeDee Lamb fumble included. Those little things. That's 14-3 versus 7-3. And we can debate about how fair the rule is and all this type of stuff, but we already know what the rule is coming into the game. That happens all the time at every level of football. People fumbling the football out of the end zone. There's a reason why Bill Belichick teaches his guys not to extend the football past the pylon. For that reason. So, where I come from, we used to call that perfect period for a reason. So I'm wondering, how much of that is practiced and dictated, because they have issues with all of their situational football stuff. The Cowboys do. And I'm starting to wonder with the head coach and his performance today, Mike McCarthy deserves heat and a win. We won the football game. We're 11-5. We're 11-5. We're right there where we need to be in the hunt of the NFC. But the problem is the manner in which this happens. You get the football back. Donovan Wilson makes an unbelievable interception. The defense played very well today, and the defense was good in situational period for the most part. They did give up a touchdown at the end of the game. We can't dismiss that. That's part of situational period. But for the most part, they got an interception with Donovan Wilson. Jay Lou got an interception. They did as much as I can ask them to do against a damn good Detroit Lions football team and a damn good Detroit Lions offense. But my thing is, you get the ball on that side of the field. You can't run the football. We already talked about that. They don't have the phone booth football ability. They don't have that physicality. But we're throwing the football, and, where's the high percentage throws? Why are we checking this thing 30 yards downfield, all long developing routes? And, yeah, we have, we have all these things that are bailing out the coach. We're fortunate that we have, the greatest kicker ever right now, Brandon Aubrey, I've ever seen. That guy's just stroking the ball like crazy. Pause. But I the kicker bails them out. The quarterback bails them out. Lamb bails them out. But Mike McCarthy not even understanding clock management and to force Detroit into using their timeouts, into bleeding clock, into leaving them with as much time as little. If you don't convert, I don't understand how we see this. We all as fans watch these games every week, and a guy that makes as much money as he does and watches as much football, is just immersed in football, handles situations like that. That scares the shit out of me in a playoff game. And that's why I don't trust him. That's where the lack of trust comes in. Because I don't trust him to handle shit for 3 straight playoff games to get me to the Super Bowl right now. Unless the quarterback and all these other people just overwhelm the situation like Aaron Rodgers did when they won. But it's really frustrating. It's really frustrating, and I don't get it. I don't understand why they have that struggle on a consistent basis in situational football periods, in clock management periods, on both sides of the ball. But again, it comes down to the head coach. That's what he's managed. That's his responsibility. Dan Campbell, respect, put his cojones on the table. He knew how he wanted to go out. I don't have any problem with it. And they're going to talk about the Taylor Decker situation, but that's how Dan Campbell chose to roll. Credit to the defense for coming through and getting the stop. But we have some questions as Cowboys fans. We have some questions. I'll take the win, and especially on Jerry and Jimmy getting in, and Jerry making sure that Jimmy got in and the whole bit. But I would be remiss if I didn't emphasize how my level of concern for how they handle these moments, because they're putting too much on Dak. They're putting too much on CD. They are. They have to be Montana and Rice at this point for us to win games, with the defense holding people to around 20 points. And that's not good enough at this level. That's not good enough to beat the 49ers. That's not good enough if you want to win three to 4 games in a row to win a title. Yeah, it's good enough to make the playoffs. It's good enough for us to win, to make the playoffs 3 years in a row. That's why I'm not over here like fire Mike McCarthy and all that energy. I'm not. But the concern is there for how they manage and the attention to detail in situational moments. It has to be better. It has to be better. Or else we are going to have the same exact outcome that we had at the end of 2021 and the conclusion of 2022, period. Happy this team won. I'm exhausted. Shout out to Jimmy Johnson. Glad he got in the Ring of Honor. At this point, we just need Dak and CD and them to just keep playing out of their mind, because I don't trust Mike and them to fix the other stuff, and I don't think that you can just pop up and have a run game. You get well soon, Tyler Smith, because you're needed. You're needed. So hopefully you can get back soon. But anyway, y'all let me know in the comments what you think. Please subscribe, whole bit. Appreciate y'all. I'm out. Happy New Year.